Ladies and gentlemen, last year it was revealed that the Brits were still paying the offspring of slave owners reparations, and they did this for nearly they did it for 182 years. Okay. Just like these folks try to tell us, well, you weren't a slave. Well, you can say right back to them, they weren't slave owners. The people that you're looking at today, they weren't slave owners, but their families still got reparations. Now, America mirrors everything Britain does. All that originality shit. You know what I'm talking about, y'all. So they mirror everything they do. Now, I want you to realize one thing. When slave reparations were given out to the slave owners, this was a global thing. Wherever they were, if they had slaves, they got compensation. And it went on for many years. So when you really think about it, the offspring got more of that money than the actual slave owners. So don't let these folks try to tell you you weren't a slave and you're not, and that was a long time ago. Well, the slave owners getting reparations 200 years? You can't even justify that. Them old relics that were slave owners did not live for 200 years. So that would mean the offspring were the biggest beneficiary in the whole thing at the end of the day. So they have no right saying anything to us. And America did the same thing. See, whatever date America tells you they cut it off, they're not telling you the truth. I can tell you that right now. They're not telling the truth because they don't tell the truth about nothing. If they said they paid it for 10 years and then it got cut off, it probably got paid out for 100 years. Can't believe nothing. So the British taxpayers have been paying this for 182 years. That's how long they got paid. But when we talk about reparations, ladies and gentlemen, this ain't no one-time check and we're done. No, they're going to be paying for years to come. No other way will be acceptable. Years. Big old S at the end. So they can't justify this to save their mama's life. The offspring ended up with the bulk of the damn reparations. Man, don't talk to me about not being no damn slave. Y'all ain't in no position to do it. Now, this is a recent story. Evanston, Illinois. They are going to take revenue that's made from marijuana, which is legalized there, and set up a fund for reparations to give to their Black residents, which I think is a good idea. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need Congress and the Senate to do anything. These states can do this do reparations individually. Even municipalities can do it if they want to. They can do it too. So I don't think it's a bad idea. It's definitely a start. You don't have to worry about nothing passing through DC's Congress or the Senate. Everything can be done on the state level. So this town does not really have a lot of Black residents. So let me just put that out there. Evanston will use the first 10 million in revenue from a new tax on the sale of recreational marijuana to fund a recently established reparation fund aimed at addressing the wealth gap and population decline among the city's Black residents. Aldermen have yet to determine how the money will be spent, but This week, city council votes appear to have made Evanston the first municipality government in the nation to create and fund its own reparations programs. Its backers hope it can become a model for other communities, with many attendees at last week's National League of Cities Summit expressing interest and support, according to aldermen who attended the meeting. And this can be duplicated all over the country, y'all. Now, let me just say this. Even if we get reparations at the state level or in a municipality, it does not let this federal government off the hook for nothing. Let me repeat that. It does not let the federal government off the hook for nothing, because this federal government to this very day is responsible for our mass incarceration. This government looked the other way when Black men, women, and children in this country were lynched. This government did nothing when white mobs burnt down and stole everything from Black residents. This government did nothing but turn the other way when they were practicing Jim Crow. This government was fine with the Black and slave codes and pig laws. They were fine with the whole thing. And they were fine with the convict lease program that came after chattel slavery. So the whole time we were slaves, this government did nothing to shut this down until our poor forefathers were wore out from being out on them hot damn fields down there, doing work for some of the most undeserving people on the planet. So, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, they took a vote in Evansville to use the cannabis retail tax to fund reparations, and it passed 8-1. So the majority was definitely for it. So the city estimated Evanston will collect at least $500,000 a year from the tax, which can start being applied in July 2020, according to interim city manager Erica Story. All right, y'all. So it's a start. You know, it may not be the biggest step on the face of the earth, but look, it's a start. They're doing more than most of the country. And that should be disturbing that only 2 places in the entire country are trying to make moves to give their residents reparations. It should be far more than Evanston and New Jersey. Now, with New Jersey, they're doing it a little differently. The reparations that they're trying to get will go to residents statewide. So it won't be just one municipality. So this is just an update on the story that I told you probably a little over a week and a half ago. So this came out in the press of Atlantic City. Our View Slavery Reparations Task Force may yield divisiveness. Now, there are opposers that have already rose up in the state, and I don't care about them. I don't care about them. So New Jersey came forward about 2 weeks ago to propose legislation to pay reparations. And they want to put together a task force that will study how to compensate Black residents for the harm from slavery and its consequences. Now, the governor, who is a Democrat, his name is Phil Murphy, said he is open to the idea of giving reparations. So they know it's going to be an uphill battle, and they are ready to dig in for the fight. Now, slavery in New Jersey was abolished in 1804, And it was part of the 13 colonies, ladies and gentlemen. This state was. So, of course, they did a poll in the state, of course, after all of this came about. And two-thirds of mainly white residents oppose any cash reparations to blacks. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, they're not in a position to oppose it because cash reparations was given to their forefathers and offspring. So no, you don't get to deny us. And reparation conversations will remain on the table. And we will keep talking about this. We don't care how sick of it you are. We don't care. You weren't slave masters, but many of these offsprings are walking around from that, with that revenue on this planet. Now, they're telling you how long it went on in the UK. It's no telling how long it went on in places like Canada. The US, any numbers the US give you is going to be bogus. So just know that. These people don't give a real number out to save their mama's life. And you can best believe Australia and any place where chattel slavery, even in Europe, anywhere chattel slavery took place, the slave owners and their offspring were compensated. So these folks aren't in any position to tell you what you shouldn't get. Period. They're not. So they still have to put together the task force, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to help not only with money. They are looking to also help Black people in the state with education and housing as well. So the funding is going to go towards several different things, but they're also looking at a cash compensation here in New Jersey for the Black residents. So that's where it is so far. When they agree on the task force, I will update you every step of the way so you can, you will be aware of what's going on here. Hopefully more states will jump on the bandwagon. They really need to. Okay, being that you benefited, they need to. All of them. Every state where there's Black residents, you need to be doing something. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.